Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live from your front room, from your laptop screen. It is the end of the regular season. We are heading to the playoffs. Well, two of us are.
Yeah, Ollie, I meant to ask you about that. How is Seed 6 in the AFC? Because I know Seed 6 in the NFC is pretty good.
C6 in the AFC could be better. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, Seed 6 feels all right. At least we're in. That's the main thing. We went to Miami, play crap, and not worry about it.
As Kyle Shanahan said yesterday, you have to be in the tournament to win it.
Exactly.
You know, it's one of these things. That's the beauty of American sports. You can, or even any playoff sport, you can sneak in the last day, in the last minute, and you could go all the way to the Super Bowl, to the Stanley Cup, to the Worlds.
Didn't the Las Vegas Kings do that in the Stanley Cup a couple of years ago?
Yeah, you're now in the lottery. That is the Super Bowl.
It's a one-game shootout.
And I mean, it's not like Week 18, the first ever Week 18 didn't disappoint, did it not?
I know. It was fantastic. I actually enjoyed watching Red Zone.
Three overtime games that all involved playoff teams.
They couldn't have written the script.
Yeah, I just want to ask a question of Mr. Hope. How's your head this morning?
My head's fine.
How many quadruple rums and cokes?
It was very interesting.
Quadruple.
I was fine.
Ollie nearly had a heart attack last night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, did you watch the game?
Yeah.
I mean, I had it on Red Zone. I won't lie. After midway through the third, well, in fact, the end of the third quarter, I turned off the Patriots because like, yeah, we ain't going to win this game. I'll turn it off now. Red Zone was taking my.
Even with a win, it did not save Flores.
Yeah, I know. I'm really that's the one that and Spielman are the two I don't understand.
Are you that surprised by Spielman?
Yes.
Shall we cover that bit in a bit?
Yeah, we'll do that, we'll do that at the end. I've got my own theory on Spielman, but yeah. So it was Week 18, the first ever Week 18 of a 17-game season. Try saying that when you're drunk.
Which haven't been for 3 years.
Yeah.
Hey, well done on that one.
We had we had playoff games, we had playoff ramification games, we had clinching games, we had all sorts, and we had 3 overtime games that had playoff implications.
Oh, yes. Literally was.
Hold on, let me just change something. One of the scores is wrong.
Standard. Do you expect it ever? I did ask you guys to check them, but you never do. That's your issues.
We have trust in you, Ollie. That's what it is. I do anyway. But
Seattle didn't draw 30-30 with Arizona.
It was a fun weekend, I think.
It was probably one of the most weirdest 10 hours of football because if you include from like up to the lemming end of the Raiders game.
I mean, it was more than 10 hours. It was about 12.
Yeah. It was probably the maddest.
It finished 5:30 in the morning and kicked off at 6 o'clock, so it's like 11 and a half hours.
It's probably the maddest amount of football. You couldn't take it. I mean, we'll start with obviously Kansas winning Sunday night.
Saturday night
even. I've got a question for you. So Kansas City are now the 5th team in NFL history to win 12 games plus for the last 4 seasons. Do you know who the other 4 teams are?
New England.
Yes.
San Francisco.
No.
Dallas?
Dallas, yep.
Pittsburgh?
Nope.
Green Bay?
Nope.
Arizona?
Nope. Do you want to give up? Shall I tell you?
Yeah.
So,
Giants.
New England. No. So, New England
Ollie's like, no,
from 2010 to 2017 was 12 games per season wins. Indianapolis Colts from 03 to 09.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Dallas Cowboys from 92 to 95.
I said Cowboys.
You did, didn't you?
Yes.
And Denver Broncos 2012 to 2015, also with Peyton Manning. They were the other teams with 12-game win seasons for minimum 4 seasons on the bounce. How mad is that? I mean, not only that, you had that. That's a record. You had Waddle breaking the rookie reception records. You had Chase Young passing Chad Johnson for the Bengals record.
You mean Jamar Chase?
Yep. Who did I say?
Chase Young.
Oh, I got it wrong around then.
Jamar Chase broke about every record for a rookie ever written for wide receiver, didn't he?
Dak Prescott, 37 touchdowns, beat Romo's record for Dallas. You had...
Who didn't break a record this week? Justin Jefferson, because
16 yards, wasn't it?
Yeah, 16 yards off.
Nor did Cooper Kupp, but he got the triple crown: most receptions, most yards, most touchdowns in a season.
Yes, he's had an absolute beast of a regular season.
But they didn't win, did they?
Ah, well, never mind. Jamal Adams passes Jordy Nelson for the most yards in Green Bay. There was...
Hold on. Do you mean Devontae Adams?
Did I say Jamal Adams? Didn't I? Yeah,
Devontae I was there like, Jamal Adams had a pretty average season. What's he broken?
But,
apart from the bank.
I mean, it started very early on Sunday with Jaguars absolutely destroying Indianapolis.
I know. Wow. I was watching that. I
thought we were starting with Kansas City.
Oh, yeah. Let's start with Kansas City.
Dermot
has got them through to their playoffs. Is it going to be 3 in a row? Well,
yeah. Well, it's 3. It's going to be the 3 FCs, isn't it?
Yeah.
4 FCs.
This game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Thanks to Drew Lock's legs.
Yes, not Drew Lock's arm.
No. Although he was, I mean, he's obviously, you could tell he was playing for his job.
Yeah.
And that, for his performance, was you can build around. You can change his play design. Obviously, they're going to have a new head coach coming in. I don't think Drew Lock will be starting this time next season. At the first game of next season. I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't. There's going to be a new quarterback in there anyway.
I don't think Teddy Bridgewater
build around him.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that fumble, I think Denver might have won that game. If it wasn't for that fumble that Nick Bolton scooped up and went for 6, then I think they would have won this game.
56 yards or something like that, wasn't it?
I think it was a lot more than that because I think they were in the red zone.
I don't think they were that high at the pitch. I may be wrong. It wasn't a sack. It was in a sack fumble, wasn't it?
It was a strip sack.
Just before we go on, I've noticed that we've got people watching us again. Thank you for your support. If you want to get involved, give us a comment in the comment section below. Head over to our socials, like and subscribe us on YouTube. Welcome to the show. If you want to get involved in the comments. You're more than welcome to.
Dallas have finally beaten a 500 team.
But a 500 team that were playing their reserves.
Exactly. Dallas, yeah.
That's why I'm excited about playing Dallas next week because they've not beaten anyone good.
Yeah,
I think that San Fran. I mean, they were my pick. I was so glad that they are.
I mean, you're doing better than Ollie, aren't you?
Only by 1 point. That's thanks to my son.
I'm referring to your Browns pick.
We talked about this off show, isn't it? Browns have been ravaged by injury, and that's cost them this season.
Yeah, but I mean, at least I picked a division winner for my pick for the Super Bowl.
Nah, we'll see.
But I mean, with Dallas having a good team and Jimmy Garoppolo having another week, his thumb to repair, I think we have a good chance. And Trent Williams is back, which is massive.
But you've got to say something. Dallas, I was surprised they didn't rest players.
I was surprised. Well, they did after a while, didn't they?
Yeah, in garbage time, they took Dak off in the last quarter, wasn't it? When the game was over, Zeke and all that. I think CD Lamb came off as well. I think even Wilson was off and Gallup was off as well. So they didn't have any of their first team out there in the last quarter.
Yeah.
But why start them? Why risk them? This is what I don't get. I know it's like, to keep them match fit, keep them going and all blah, 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 but I wouldn't even risk it. It's a really strange one to take.
Especially when they're at home next week against a good team.
Because they weren't going to get the number 1 seed. They weren't going to go any higher than that anyway. They were guaranteed home advantage because they won the division. It just, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. But at least the NFC East had a winning record.
I know, yeah. We started the year calling it the NFC least.
I think everyone called it the NFL least.
And everyone called it the NFL least.
And they had a winning. I mean, even Eagles had a 9-8 record. So
somehow,
yeah. On to the crazy 11.5 hours of Sunday night football. Oh my God. Where do we start?
Well, let's start with.
Should we start with down in was it Soldier Field?
Oh yeah. Yeah, go on then, Tom.
It was in Minneapolis.
The game that didn't mean anything apart from coaches' jobs.
Yeah, well, to be fair,
they both lost it, so.
Yeah, I know. It was it started off. I was hoping for a loss to try and get a better draft position, slightly better.
It was looking that way for a while.
What's that?
Chicago looked like they were going to win for quite a while.
They did, and then I think I don't know. It was we had some good moments, didn't we? KJ scored.
That was a
KJ Osborne's going from strength to strength, looking like a real talent. Marisette Smith looking very good as well. Oh, Ian says that we Broncos, we're going so well against KC on Saturday until whilst 1 point ahead. Nunti Fenninger decided to go for a field goal on 4th and goal with under 5 minutes to go. Predictably, KC then went on and not only scored a TD, but also a 2-point to boot. Excellent game management, Vic. Shut the door on your way out of the
at least he's got out your way now.
At least he's gone.
So, Ian, what did you think of Locke's performance? Do you think Locke will be starting next season?
That's a good shout.
You want him to start next season?
I think he'll be there next season.
I think he'll be there next season, but I think he'll be back up.
What's the next game on the board? Cincinnati, Cleveland. Cincinnati rested pretty much everyone, didn't they?
Yeah, I was going to say. I have no recollection of this game even happening.
No, it didn't really. It wasn't even on Red Zone very much, was it?
No, it wasn't. Red Zone concentrated mainly on the other games, didn't they? So, which is fair enough. It had no really implications. Cincinnati only dropped 1 place in the playoff picture. They are going, they haven't got the best records. They're going to want to produce or save their better players going into the next.
Yeah.
Into the first week of playoffs.
I think they have a very winnable game.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, the way I don't know if John's watching, but I mean, the Raiders isn't exactly the hardest game in the world.
No, and they haven't really set the world on fire this year. I think Bengals have. I've been really impressed with the Bengals this year. Burrows and Chase.
That Burrows and Chase connection is just.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ian's answered my question.
I don't think. Yeah.
I'm not sure who you'll end up with QB next season, but I can't see Locke or Bridgewater starting.
There is a couple of good QBs. Whether they fall to you at 9 is another question.
I think there could be a few decent QBs falling to 9. Oh.
Well, I mean, there's a QB we'll be looking at on Thursday that's quite good. Of course.
Good evening, John.
Of course, John's watching.
Oh, you're awake, John. More importantly, yeah, that was. Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say Bengals are gonna potentially shock everyone.
I agree.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're still doing this, but Bengals are my lock of the week or bank of the week, whatever I call them. We're still doing that.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
Houston almost upset the apple cart, didn't they?
Davis Mills looked good.
Do you know what?
Playoff Danny rocks up again in January. Are we surprised?
We need to change playoff Danny. It's just January Danny.
Yeah, because he was superb again. It was 2 grabs.
January Amendola.
Yeah, and the 2-point try as well. He was absolutely superb. Back to what he was in New England.
He's been on my fancy bench whole season and done nothing. First time. I mean, I've not played him at all this season, but he's been sitting on my bench. The first time fancy's done, he goes and does that and scores 2 touchdowns.
I had him for a couple of weeks because I had a couple of wide receivers like either down or out or something like that. So I played him, and he scored me a few points. He got a touchdown. So he's got.
Here's the thing, Houston. Now, obviously, it's been a horrible season for them. They went from having one of the best QBs starting in the league for them to everything that happened in the off season and has continued to rumble on. Davis Mills, do you know what? Fair play to the kid. He didn't expect to be starting this season, and he's been thrown in. And do you know what? I think he's done. He's had an impossible job, hasn't he? He's had an impossible.
It's one of those rookie things. Rookies are always going to struggle, but
if
going
I was
into that situation, it's almost as bad as Trevor Lawrence's bill, isn't it?
Yeah, if I was the GM of the Texans, I'd be trying to get 2023 picks for Deshaun.
Yeah.
So right off next season, let Davis start.
I was going to say, what would you draft in? If you were the Houston GM?
Weapons and O-line. Weapons and O-line.
Yeah. So this season, I'd get. So they have a decent pick. Get, I don't know, wide receiver or O-line or something. But try and get picks for 2023. Let Davis Mills start next year, and then you have a competent backup for when you get, I don't know, Bryce Young or DJ or someone like that in 2023, and then give him some weapons.
There's Jamal Williamson, I think his name is, playing tonight for Alabama. He's meant to be the number 1 wide receiver coming into this draft this year.
I am hoping to stay up and watch that.
And I mean, we're going to get to see the Heisman winner, Bryce Young.
Yes.
Who, of course, is probably up there with DJ Patanglele for first round pick next year.
Yeah, they are the top 2.
Yeah,
they are the top 2.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great atmosphere tonight. We will talk about it in a bit briefly, but so I was really impressed with Houston. I think Tennessee, obviously, we're in sort of rest mode a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they were still number 1. They did the job, didn't they?
Although Tannehill, there was a moment where Julio Jones was like, "I need to know the play. I need to know what I'm doing." And Tannehill was like, you can see Tannehill just going, right, just
go.
Just go.
He's a post route. He's a skinny post route. I mean,
speaking of Julio, it was nice to see him get his first touchdowns in Titan colours.
I can't believe it's taken him 18 weeks.
Yes,
he's
I was a bit surprised.
But that's a shock. It's taken him 18 weeks to get that long. Really is.
And I mean, Titans clinching number 1 is big for certain King Henry reasons.
Oh, yes. Shall we go on to another king? The sack king.
Yes.
TJ Watt.
Oh, yeah, he's tied the record. I mean, he had a sack ripped away from him because it was called a tackle for a loss instead, which was harsh because he would have held the record undoubtedly. But
without sounding like Kyle Brandt, let's not forget Strahan's 20 seconds and a half sack against Brett Favre, where Brett Favre basically just fell at his feet.
Yes. Yes, I remember that one.
And another thing, the Big Ben retirement train gets one more stop.
This was another great game.
Are they going to win against KC?
I tell you what, I could see an upset. I'm not going to say it's going to happen. I could see it as an upset because you could see that the Steelers now it's the emotional week of last week. Yesterday, they are stepped up this extra level, not for Tomlinson, but for Ben. And they are playing another level. I mean, Najee was superb last weekend.
Yes.
He was good again yesterday. The defense is a very, very good defense.
He's doing what it needs to do, yeah.
And they're not too bad on special teams either. And the offense weapons are good.
I mean, let's not forget that KC are probably the hottest team in the NFL at the moment.
Agreed on that one. Although Denver has shown it can be done.
And it did take Pittsburgh 2 overtime games to get in.
That is very true. I mean, probably the 10th of the 10th game. I am so happy the Steelers got him.
I'm not sure if Freddie's watching, but as Carson was lining up that kick in the Vegas game, I did text Freddie saying, "How are you feeling?"
Because a tie and you're out.
And he replied saying he was feeling sick.
That was. I would love to know what John was feeling about that.
John has gone big and said, "I'm hoping it'll be an upset. We want to get the Steelers into the playoffs and knock out KC for us and skip another game."
Oh, of course. On to another nothing game in Washington, or was it? No, it was MetLife, wasn't it?
Well, it meant to be because for some reason, Ollie, you decided to put that in the prediction.
I felt like a bit of fun on it. Can't make it all. You've got to have an easy win somewhere.
Does anyone predict the Giants in this?
Did anyone predict the Giants in this? No, all five. Well, six. Yeah, 5 of us went for Washington.
Thanks, Noah, by the way.
Tom says thanks. Yeah, it was a nothing game, really, wasn't it? I mean, it just shows that. I mean, both New Yorks have 2 picks in the top 10.
It's going to be
Philadelphia got 3 picks in the top 20 because, let's face it, they're not going to. Well, they shouldn't be Tampa the next weekend or this weekend.
Who knows?
New York is going to massive rebuild now. They've got a massive issue. Do they go for a QB? Okay, because start of the season, yes, Danny Dimes was okay, and they looked like they got a QB. But ever since he's had the concussion, he's not been the same player.
Well, I mean,
and he tripped over his own toes when he's like 5 yards from the own goal line.
That's for their new GM to decide, isn't it? I hope Dave Gettleman has a great retirement, but he's not done much with the Giants.
I want to know, why did Joe Judge go for a QB sneak at 3-9 on pretty much your own goal line?
I want to know why Joe Judge still has a job.
Well, I think that's what everyone in New York's been asking. He's got absolutely.
So it's 4 o'clock in New York at the moment, so it's still time.
No, they've already confirmed he's staying.
I've missed that one. That is.
Wow. I mean, let's face it. The New York are murdering him.
He had a meeting with the management this morning, but I'm assuming Gettleman retiring probably changed their plans. Both of them.
Both. Yeah, I mean, New York Jets have got more pieces in now because they drafted very well. They got Vera Tucker and Zach Wilson.
Is Zach Wilson for franchise QB though? Because as we all saw in London.
I think with Wilson, this is my thoughts. I feel that you need to give him. Let's give him next season. See what he does. Let's see how the Jets draft this year.
He did very well against Tampa. In fact, I'll rephrase that. He did brilliantly against Tampa.
Yeah.
He was really, really good against Tampa. He was okay against Buffalo, but Buffalo got a better rush. A really good rush.
I love Salah, but he's defensively minded.
Agreed. So you need to build around this now.
The question is, is Mike LaFleur a good enough OC?
This is where you need one of these college or quarterbacks, college coaches coming in who are attack-minded.
Because Mike LaFleur went from
LaFleur.
Mike LaFleur did go from being the Niners passing coordinator or whatever to the Jets OC, and he is brothers with Matt LaFleur. So you'd think he'd be able to do it.
Yeah, agreed. Shock number 1 of the night? Or shock number 3 of the night? Don't know. Green Bay to Detroit. Their trick play. I believe there should be a little. I thought you'd like that. I believe there should be a little video of Detroit's trick play, which was absolutely superb. Was it Raymond or St. Brown's?
It wasn't St. Brown.
It was. I lost the ball. It's like, oh, there it is. It was brilliant play. It really was. And I think it might be Raymond actually had so much space. He had pretty much the whole red zone to himself. It was a brilliant play.
I've got it here. I'm just downloading it now. And then
hands off to Detroit, who played brilliantly. They pulled every play out of the playbook. Going, we're going to go for this one now. We've got nothing to lose.
I mean, it was nice to see both Detroit and Jacksonville. I know we'll get to Jacksonville. Actually trying, thinking, bollocks to the picks. We're going to actually try and win this game.
Are we ready for the video, by the way?
Yeah.
Right. 1 second.
It shows that there isn't a massive need for those two yet. And don't forget, Philadelphia got 3 picks. Would one of them trade them away to Philadelphia?
For this draft, you might as well.
Yeah.
Raymond in the backfield. Look at this trickery. Kennedy got a man. Raymond wide open. Now
I love that.
On his way for the touchdown.
That is such a good play.
I mean, I'll talk about trick plays in a minute.
He's going to pitch it on the reverse now. And now he's going to throw it to Cleve Raymond. Really good play design. Over the last couple of weeks, they've run that kind of inside trap.
Who was it who threw it?
Kenny.
And that's what happens when you've got nothing to lose. Why not try that sort of stuff?
I mean, let's talk about trick plays when we get to the Niners game.
Yes. I think there's actually Debo video on there as well. We've got
as
well. It shows that, like you just said, Jacksonville shocked everyone because they were 18-3 up at halftime or something stupid like that. And they played. I mean, we saw Lawrence over in London. He looked a good quarterback. He looked like he could do something, but they looked like he stepped up another level. He was really good.
Yeah,
he showed his potential in that game.
The Jags were very good last night, and I mean, is Carson Wentz the future for the Colts? That's the big question I have.
He's going to be a bridge. I think he's a bridge. Okay, so he's a 6th year now, isn't he? Is it his 5th or no? He's going into his 6th season, isn't he?
Yes.
So yeah, he's a bridge. He's one of these quarterbacks. They're one of these franchises now. They don't need a quarterback unless a superstar falls into their lap. I think that's where they're going to be now. For the next 3 or 4 years, they don't need to worry about a QB unless a superstar falls into their lap. Would they go for someone like Deshaun Watson, who probably would lift that franchise up another level? Who knows?
Let's see what happens with Deshaun now.
Deshaun Watson, Jonathan Taylor, and Naeem Hines would be a scary running attack.
It would be. Yeah. It would be very scary.
Most definitely.
I mean, number 26, whose name I literally just said and I've forgotten. Jonathan Taylor.
No, he's 28, isn't he?
Whatever. Jonathan Taylor is scary enough on his own.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
200-odd yards. How many times this season?
Yeah, quite a few. Okay, so moving on to the late night games. Buffalo won out against the Jets.
I'm not going to lie. I was watching the Niners games. I've not seen much of the other late games.
Yeah. I had Red Zone on, so I wasn't really concentrating on the late games. But New York had a chance against Buffalo. That's what I mean. New York have got steadily better as the season's gone on.
Yeah.
They were
super. Saw them in London.
Ever since Zach got injured, he's come back from his injury. It's almost like he's learned more of the playbook. He's learned more of how his offense works. And they're finding this stride now. They just need to build around him a bit more, get a couple more pieces in that O-line, probably a couple more weapons, increase the defense a little bit more. They've got 2 or 3 picks in the first round. Definitely 2 in the top 10. You can get some superstars in this draft, especially on the D side. O-lines, you could pick up good O-lines, a bit low on down. Yeah, they'll do well. They'll be okay, which is a bit scary. Buffalo, I so hope we get to shut them up next week. Because Bill Mafia does my head in. NFL fans in this country are respectable. NFL fans in America are like football fans over here towards other teams.
I don't think they're that bad.
They can be.
If you go to Philadelphia, you can be.
They're not exactly going to go and beat
Good
up
evening, Muzz. Thank you for joining us. Oh, he's put a no comment. Have I missed the Steelers chat? Unfortunately, you have, mate. Put a comment in. You're more than welcome, mate. New Orleans almost upset your apple cart and upset your party, didn't they, Ollie?
They tried to.
They tried to.
I mean, when we were 17-0 down, the camera zoomed in on John Lynch's suite, and you could see he was actually watching the.
Yes, I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that flashed up on Red Zone. That was
So my friend actually just wanted to. He just messaged me about your comment about football fans being similar to soccer fans in the UK, and he wanted to remind me of the time when me and him were at Levi, and he was wearing the Minnesota shirt, and Niners fans were high-fiving him when Minnesota did well, and the guy that sat next to us went and bought us both things from the gift shop. So that's why I'm saying that I don't think you're right.
Do you think that's partly because you were English?
Oh, possibly. I do think it's partly because he was English, but football fans in England would beat up some people if they were in at the end.
That's the American sports. I mean, when I went to Wild Games, we were playing. It was when we played Chicago, and in any sport, Minnesota versus Chicago is quite a big deal. Chicago bring quite a lot of fans.
It's Chicago Blackhawks, isn't it?
What's that? Blackhawks, yeah. We had a really good conversation with a lot of. They are knowledgeable people, but the fact that I was English, they were amazed, especially in Minnesota, where it's not really a touristy sort of spot. And they aren't one of the big teams in hockey per se. They weren't used to be. They're going to do well this season, but they were shocked that anyone from this country sort of was going to go over there. And again, I had the same sort of experience as you guys. I was in handshakes, high fives, people chatting, wanting to have photographs with me.
I'm looking forward to when I go to Boston to watch.
So we'll just put Muzz's comment back up there. Saying,
we hit that about the same time. Then Molly Six, I was about to do the same.
Saying that the Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl, 2006 all over again. Legend retiring, snuck into the final seed. Bengals won the division.
How do you feel about Bengals winning division, Muzz?
I mean, haven't the Bengals not won a playoff game since like 1990 or something?
2000, I think it was. I might be 99. On to Carolina. As I said that, I want to. Bruce Arians has been said today that it'll be a travesty if Brady doesn't win MVP. All I'm going to say is Cooper Kupp, Jonathan Taylor.
Unfortunately, I think Brady is going to win MVP. I'm with you. I'm with you on the Cooper Kupp train, but I think
Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor both deserve it. Absolutely deserve it over a quarterback all day long. But it's always given to quarterback.
There's your answer from Muzz.
Yeah, I think they are, especially with Burrow's Chase combination. They are going to be a force for the next decade. But saying that, Tampa getting things done, and Anyone but Rodgers. Agreed. Tampa. I want to say something now. 8th season in a row, Mike Evans has had over 1,000 reception yards. That's more than, I wrote it down, Randy Moss and Jerry Rice. Both had it 6 times each.
So we had a bit of a disagreement on Hall of Fame players last week, Ollie.
Yep.
And I'm still going to stick by that. But I think we can both agree that Mike Evans is a future Hall of Famer.
He's done. Anyone who's done it 8 seasons about. I mean, Jerry Rice and Randy Moss are both Hall of Famers. He's done it more than them. Yes, okay. He's had more games per season. They had 16 majority of their seasons. He's had 18 and 17. So yes, he's had that extra game. But to do that 8 seasons on the bounce, and to show, I mean, he missed 2 or 3 games this year.
Yes.
And still did it. He is superb, and he did it for 3 seasons with blooming Jameis Winston as quarterback. That's even more impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerry Rice
Who was the QB?
blooming Joe Montana for bloody 4 years, didn't he?
And Steve Young for the rest, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Who was QB before Winston now? Was it Josh Freeman?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think it was Josh Freeman or something. I'm going to Google it.
Yeah. Go on, you go ahead and go. Well, we'll talk about Seattle. All I'm going to do, was it the first play of the game? The strip, sack, fumble, touchdown recovery?
Yes.
I think that we even got a video of that one. That was great.
Do 1 second.
Great one. There's a couple of extra comments coming in.
It was Josh Freeman and then Josh McCown for a season before Jameis Winston.
Oh, Josh McCown's been everywhere. Most of the question is, here's an interesting question. I was going to the Hall of Famer. Do you think Hines Ward should be? He missed the final ballot this year, unfortunately. I need to Google his stats.
I'm doing exactly the same.
Us both doing that, I'm going to say probably not. Because otherwise, if we had known his stats, we probably done. Hines Ward, coach.
4 Pro Bowls, 2-time Super Bowl champ, 3rd team, 2nd All Pro.
South Korean lad.
We haven't got a video of it, sorry.
Oh, I thought we had. Okay.
12,000 receiving yards, 85 touchdowns. I think he could.
He possibly could be with those stats. Obviously, they go through 3 or 4 different ballots, don't they? So he's got a chance. He really has a chance.
And Super Bowl MVP that we missed, apparently.
Did we miss that one? We have talked about that. I did go Myles Garrett, but obviously he's not going to get there.
No, I think they mean Hines. I think what Muzz means is Hines Ward was a Super Bowl MVP.
Seattle again, pulling all the stocks out. I mean, again, Arizona still played majority of their starters.
Yes, they did.
It's one of these wings where it's last game of the season, divisional rivalries. They want to put a mark on for next season. And Seattle have gone, look, this year was a blip. Pete Carroll has said he's going to be back for next season.
Here's a question for both of you and in the comments. Will Russell Wilson be in Seattle next season?
No. Although, he looks like he's having a lot of fun in Seattle at the moment. These last 3 or 4 weeks, he looks like he's had a lot of fun.
Yeah, but is that because the stress of being there? Does he know that he's probably going to lead? Does he know I mean, let's face it. We all started this podcast talking about Russell Wilson and potentially leaving the franchise. So
with Seattle, okay, yes, they don't have a first-round pick yet at the moment. If they Wilson's going to could easily get 2 or 3 first-round picks, so you could end up with New York. Giants with 2 picks in that first round. Philadelphia don't really need one. Possibly, and so it's probably New York Giants, Seattle. Yes, he did.
I'd take Minnesota. I mean, I know we've got Kirk, but
you've got Kirk on $45 million next year. You're not getting another quarterback.
We're not getting no.
Definitely not. He will be there next year if they can convince him to stay, and they can promise him they're going to get him weapons and protection.
So go on.
That's what they need. In fact, no, they don't even need weapons. He needs protection.
Yeah, I'm going to build on John's question. So I'm going to aim at you two. Where do you think he's going to go if
Pittsburgh
he does leave?
Yeah,
Pittsburgh?
I mean, they have. So I still stand by Jimmy Garoppolo ending up in Pittsburgh next season if we trade him. But Wilson has weapons. He has DK Metcalf. He has Tyler Lockett. He has Chris Carson very occasionally.
Rashard Penny as well.
Yeah.
He looked superb. What was it that 67-yard touchdown run against Arizona as well?
When
it was Arizona's starting D.
Is that a video?
I don't think we got that one, no. I have seen it, but yeah.
Okay, John, who do you think he's going to?
That's a good one. I think so. Off-season clear with the air talks of Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, they've decided a strategy going forward.
I'm going to say it now. I think Russell Wilson will be in Mile High Stadium for Denver next season.
That would be awesome because Denver have weapons. Denver have weapons.
Although, let's remember, Jerry Jeudy did not score a touchdown this season. And Cortland Sutton only scored 2.
Agreed. But Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lockett, and whoever their third QB was.
I mean, their wide receivers were almost as hopeless as the Giants at scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, was it 5 touchdowns this season? And their touchdown this week was their first touchdown since 24th of October.
Yeah.
That is shocking. I think with Denver, it is more to do with the quarterback play and the play design than it is with the talents of the quarterbacks.
Yes, I know.
Sutton and Judy are good receivers.
But Teddy Bridgewater can throw the ball.
Oh yeah, I agreed with that one. That's why I more agreed than anything else. There's obviously Yes, I did. Get out.
Derek Henry to Josh Norman-esque.
What was it? Calm down. What was the Browns game? That was Browns game against Steelers last week. There was a couple of big stiff arms in that game. Najee Harris, that was a couple of great stiff arms. Ollie, do you want to talk about your game? And there is a special trick play video on that. I know that one.
Do you play the video first, or do you want
to play the video because it just shows Debo can do everything.
So, Must, to answer your question, I think he's going to be in Minnesota.
I think if Tomlin retires, we could face a bit of competition for him, but I'd take Flores.
I don't think Tomlin's going anywhere.
No, he's not, even though with his scary eyes.
And I think Brian Flores will pretty much have his pick because he's the best coach available.
This is Deebo Samuel doing everything.
There's nothing Deebo can't do.
Not a brilliant picture. I apologize.
Wide open touchdown, 49ers. Jennings.
And catching that touchdown is my player of the week, Joanne Jennings.
It's gonna be. It reminds me of Danny Anabola's play from Julian Edelman against the Ravens in 2016, maybe 2015, I think it was, in the divisional matchup.
But, I mean, karma came and bit Sean McVay in the ass.
After him running into the end zone, celebrating with his players
running
again.
in the end zone, celebrating with his players when they went 17-0 up.
Why didn't he get flagged?
Yeah, that's the question I have. If that's not unsportsmanlike conduct, I'm not sure what is.
Sorry, not you guys, my son.
That is definitely unsportsmanlike conduct. And then coming back from 17-0 down to lead 24. Did we? No, we didn't lead until the kick. Before last night, Sean McVay, as Rams coach, was 45-0 and leading at halftime.
Whoops.
And they were 14 points up at halftime too.
It's mad, isn't it?
Garoppolo was not great in the first half. Our offense was not great in the first half. To be honest, we sort of have the defense to thank.
Yeah, what was it? How many times did you message us saying, get Trey on?
A lot.
And then there was the
I even
12-word spleeted messages that just begins with or rhymes with duck, repeated several times.
No. Actually, I sent that when we got back to 17-17.
Yeah.
I even tweeted "Get Trey Lancing."
Did you?
Which I then subsequently deleted. But
you don't want that coming back to haunt you in a few years' time.
in the second half, we were a different team.
Yeah,
we had
and he
more,
needed to be. I mean, Jimmy
energy.
was firing the balls in. Absolutely.
Jimmy's thumb seemed healed in the second half.
I didn't realise that he actually chipped a bone in his thumb as well.
Yeah, and tore.
What caused that?
It was just a hit.
Okay, fair enough. There was a hit on him, wasn't it? And it wasn't flagged.
Oh, how was that not flagged?
Was it helmet arm to the helmet, wasn't it?
Yeah, the guy literally hit him on the helmet as he threw an interception.
Yeah.
That completely. Was a pretty
standard NFL officiating this season.
Don't even get to me, because there's officiating call in Miami I was pissed about. So every single New England fan I've spoken to.
And that play was so important because it was a red zone interception. But then overtime happened and that kick went in, and then Ambry Thomas coming up clutch.
How many times have you slagged him off on this podcast this season?
Oh, pretty much every other game.
Yeah. And it just shows it just needs one game, one moment, and that's what it is.
And I mean, I'll go into Jerron Jennings more on Thursday because he's my player of the week.
Yeah.
But he was incredible. Debo was, Debo. He's been incredible all season. And Ayuk got over 100 yards for... he's only done that a couple of times this season. They all made some very, very clutch plays. And, I mean, we're going to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
So next up is going to be
New England, Miami.
Miami.
Ollie, take it away.
Mac has summed up saying it was embarrassing, and it was absolutely shocking the first quarter. But we've slagged off officials all season this year with dodgy calls, really, really bad calls. And where's Tom gone again? Really bad calls, and there was one that the punter. It was obviously a designed fake punt, and the punter slid. He would have missed the first down marker, and Brandon Bolden, not Brian Bolden, because went to stop the play and missed him by a good 3-4 inches, and he was flagged for pass. Roughing the kicker or roughing unnecessary roughness. And it's like, that cost us, because they went and scored field goal on that one. That's cost us the game effectively, I think, because we were 3 points down. We've lost the game by 3 points. Yeah,
Did you only lose the game by 3 points?
We only lost the game. Well, we lost. I'm going to say we lost the game by 3 points. Yes, he has, John.
Well, I mean, if Santa calls, Santa's helper needs to respond.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we would have picked up the possession because they didn't make the fourth down. We would have picked up undowns in Miami territory. They went and scored. They went down. They were 17-7 at half time. We would have been in field goal chance in range. It would have been a 3-point game going into halftime. 4-point game, completely going into a different game. It was really, really poor. And I hope John's about to get ready because I want him to... We needed John on the show tonight. We needed John on the show properly. I'm glad we had nothing to play for in that game effectively. We really could have gone up or down a couple of divisions. We were in the playoffs. Yeah. It seemed like we were in the playoffs and they wanted to try new things, and that's what it was.
And then the last game we've got is the Chargers versus Hunter Renfrow.
And Carson. It was. No. I mean, I've not fully seen this game. I've only seen the highlights in this game. I mean, the Raiders flew out the box, didn't they? They were brilliant.
I don't feel like we should call them Raiders. I feel like we should call them Hunter Renfro franchise.
He's set the franchise record for this season, isn't he? John, is that correct? Is he franchise record holder now for receptions or something like that? And that's why we pay our kickers so well. He is, and he's been the number one kicker this season. Matt Carson.
He's never missed at the Allegiant Stadium.
No. I don't get why they've got real turf in that stadium.
They go outside.
Oh, they do what they do at they roll it in afterwards, do they?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the balls. I mean, LA Chargers went for. Yeah, probably. I think all Steelers fans would have been. I mean, there was Chargers play drive to score the touchdown and take it overtime was a brilliant drive. That touchdown pass from Herbert shows how good of a player this kid's going to be.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't understand how the Chargers have not ended up in the playoffs with Herbert, Eckler, not Mac, Mike Williams. I think Allen's been injured for most of the season, hasn't he?
Yeah,
on the defense, Derwin James, Bosa. I mean, both Bosas almost weren't in the playoffs.
And both Bosas both were as well.
Yeah.
Half a second longer and both Bosas would have been in the playoff. That's mad. I mean, it was a really good game.
It was. I watched it.
Did anyone see the banner that held up, just play for a tie?
Yeah.
That's how much it meant to the fans to get them in there. And
I could just see I think potentially the Raiders would have gone for a tie if Brandon Staley hadn't called a timeout with 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, I mean, they still could have taken the tie. They could have taken the knee.
Yeah, but I feel like that they would have taken it, and then Brandon Staley called a quarterback, and they're like, okay, F you, we'll take the win.
Yeah, true. I mean, it was a good game.
But then again, the Raiders probably would have gone for the win because it gets them a much easier tie, I think, in the next round.
Yeah, I mean, they go to Cincinnati, don't they, now?
Instead of going to Buffalo, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, before going to this one, New England still had Buffalo, and now they've still got Buffalo. Just they've gone away the other way. It was mad 11.5 hours. I'm never going to forget 11.5 hours worth of football like that again. And this is why we love the NFL. It was tension, excitement,
same again next
controversy.
Season.
Same again next week, isn't it?
Yeah. NFL Network always show 5 regular season games as the best 5 games of that season in the summer when there's nothing else to do. It wouldn't surprise me if 2 or 3 of these games are in those 5 games.
Definitely. So Chargers have won the last 4 on the bounce. The Raiders have won the last 4 on the bounce.
What'd you say, sorry, Tom?
Shall we move on to Black Monday quickly?
Yeah.
Oh, go on then. Roll on to Black Monday. Go on then, Tom, before we do playoff picture and all that stuff.
Yes. I mean, I want to know, Ollie, you said something about, you said something that got me thinking.
We've got to have this one out, haven't we?
Tom. I've been calling for it for the last 4 or 5 weeks now.
Yeah.
The whole season.
It's out whole season, isn't it?
He peed me off last night. I mean, his last 2 or 3 press conferences have been car crashes. He's thrown his star wide receiver under the bus. He's thrown his rookie QB under the bus. And he basically said that he didn't really care about Jefferson breaking the record. And I understand that he has to be more concerned with wins. But we were 31-17 up. Why couldn't you just try to have got Jefferson that record?
Yeah, especially if you've got enough to play for next week.
Exactly.
Hey, you're going to sit there like the rest of the fans watching it. and not
I will
about
enjoy watching Green Bay crash and burn.
Green Bay aren't playing next week, though.
No, but I'll be in.
Green Bay are going to make it through to the Super Bowl. Green Bay are
No,
going to win.
they'll get knocked out by the Cardinals.
Green Bay are going to win the Super Bowl.
Tom, if Green Bay win, you have to buy a Green Bay jersey.
To be fair,
I won't spend money on a Green Bay jersey.
To be fair, he still owes us the cheese hat from before London.
He does, doesn't he?
I know.
Anyway,
but
shall we start with the first one?
Go on.
Shall we start with the first one, Broncos? I mean, we'll put Ian's comment back up again because this says anything. So where is it? There it is.
Shall we just put up Muzz's quickly first? Green Bay and Rodgers will choke like always.
Yeah,
possibly. But they'll probably get further than Tom wanted them to. So that was Ian's comment. It says everything how the Broncos fans feel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Instead of going for the win, you go for a conservative kick. I've seen that a couple of times this season where teams have gone for the weird call instead. They've gone for it again. I mean, we've done it as well.
I mean, I have to admit, when the Niners were 24-17 down with 2 minutes to go on 4th down, I was yelling at the TV, "Why are we punting?" But
yeah.
I thought that was quite a conservative call.
Anthony Lynn's now gone as well from the Lions. That went.
So Flores.
Lynn was put in an impossible position.
Yeah.
He had to go and be OC of an offense that pretty much doesn't exist.
They got players. They got better. Detroit got better as the season went on. And I think they'll stay with Goff. They're going to stay with Goff.
The funny thing is, they got better when their star wide receiver was injured.
True. Very true.
Swift.
Yeah.
So Flores, that was the one that shocked everyone.
Yes.
Being the old Patriots at DC, it shocked me because
he was a. Do you know what? I know that when they came over to the UK, it wasn't. They didn't play great, did they? But you saw some good.
You saw what organised that defense can be.
Yeah,
I mean, they went
definitely.
They went 7 games on a win streak, and they didn't play bad teams. I mean, they started off by beating Baltimore, New York Jets. Okay, beat both New York teams twice. Saints, Tennessee as well.
Well, I think it's funny that you talked about Flores being part of the Belichick coaching tree. Did you know that people from the Sean McVay coaching tree have more division titles than Belichick's?
No, I didn't know that.
That
says a lot, doesn't it?
That was on Good Morning Football this morning.
I must have missed that comment.
Thank you.
I must have missed that comment.
His record was 24 and 25.
Weird fact of the day.
Yes, you're welcome for that weird fact of the day, Maz.
Most definitely. There you go. Who keeps pressing that comment at the same time? Go on then. Go on, Tom. You press it.
Wow.
That's a weird comment.
That's a weird fact, isn't it?
Well,
That is a weird fact.
It's a good job they didn't play the Niners then.
I think the Flores thing is, I don't think he wanted Deshaun Watson, and I think the GM organization wanted Deshaun Watson in.
So he said no, I don't want him there, and the GM has said, "Well, sorry to make you feel that way. See you later."
Yeah.
I mean, their loss. Hopefully,
I could see him.
But
I mean, there's what, 7 jobs up for grabs. So Raiders, I think, are going to stick with who they've got.
But there seems to be a lot of Jim Harbaugh chat going around at the moment.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of chatter for Harbaugh
But he wants to stay, wasn't it? Last time I heard, he wants to stay in Michigan.
Yeah, he said that. He's pretty much said that he will stay and take a pay cut.
Okay.
So, okay, so
looks like Bill O'Brien's going to go to Jags. That seems to be the big quick rumor that's going on at the moment. Broncos, I could see Flores doing a job there because they've got weapons in that defense. Imagine him in Minnesota with that defense you've got already, and the defensive coordinator who took us to the Super Bowl a couple of times with our defense that we had when we had all the weapons. You could be a very good team if you've got a good offensive coordinator with a very good defensive head coach.
Okay, so here's a question to Ollie. Hope.
Which one?
Hope. You said that you were shocked about Spielman.
Yes.
What? Why? I guess is
because one of the GM's main responsibilities, is building a roster, and I think you have a good roster.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And another one of the main jobs is hiring a coach. And I mean, Zimmer wasn't bad for you.
No.
Nope.
Until the last couple of seasons.
Yes, maybe they kept him a bit too long. But I don't think Spielman did a bad job at Minnesota, and he's been there for 16 years.
I mean,
he's been there for 16 years, and I think what Wolf was saying, was that he felt that there needs to be a fresh set of eyes. He said, I mean, he was asked about whether it's going to be a rebuild. If we're in rebuild mode.
Jason Garrett, don't think he's there anymore.
I think Jason Garrett's happy in New York at the moment.
Yeah. What they said effectively was, we're not in rebuild mode. We've still got a very talented roster, but we need a fresh set of eyes on it all. I think, obviously, we've gone with a defensive-minded coach before. It did kind of work for a while, but I mean that's why I think Flores might be in with a shout for us. He fit because we have a habit of
So I've got a question for everyone, you two, and everyone in the comments. What do you think is the most attractive job out there, and why? And what do you think is the least attractive job out there, and why?
Can I be very, very biased and say Minnesota?
I think Minnesota is the best job out there. But I think
the best jobs out there.
Best stadium out there. Well, best facilities out there. Best roster out there at the moment that are available. I mean, look at who you've got. You've got Kirk Cousins, who's had a great season this season. Arguably,
we're not arguing that. We've said you've got the best 1-2 punch. You've got a bloody good running back. You've got a bloody good RB2. I was
going to say,
I need a few more pieces to get back to that defense you had a couple of years ago, but not a lot to do there. You said yesterday, that's us gone. That's us out of the top 10 draft picks gone. I said to you, I don't think it matters because there's so much talent defensively coming into the draft. I don't think it's massive. I mean, we reviewed Obajay on Thursday night, me and Ollie. He would fit quite nicely in your team. On the other side, he could drop to you. It's only a couple of places out you.
Yeah.
New York have got 4 picks between the two franchises.
Tom, can I just touch on the stadium quickly?
Yes.
You said you have the best stadium, which I agree with. But do you not think by building a dome stadium, you gave away some of your advantage of being used to playing in the cold?
Yeah.
I want to counteract that.
We had the dome. We had the Metrodome, didn't we? Where the roof famously caved in on us. I don't know. I think obviously it gives Green Bay a bit of an advantage because obviously it's bloody freezing there.
Yeah, but you train outside anyway, so you're going to
train outside. So
but here's my thing. So Miami train outside too, but they play in the warm. So going to Miami, Minnesota, for instance, and playing in the cold, that could hamper them.
Do you regulate the stadium temperature? You're going to regulate temperature. Do you drop it?
Regulate the temperature, yeah.
I'm guessing you can drop it when warmer climate teams come up. I don't know. I don't think it is advantage because I think you've seen a better Kirk Cousins this season. than
I
we've
think
seen
we
for
have.
a long time.
Yeah, but the Bank Stadium's been around for a while.
About 3. Hang on. When did you have the
4
Super Bowl
years,
there?
4 years now.
Yeah. So I don't think dome stadiums are a disadvantage anymore because they're coming more and more and more. So it's
I
fine.
think that Kirk and Jefferson and Thielen got let down by bad play calling, and that's not all on Zimmer. That's on Kubchak as well. I think he's part of the problem. I think Baby Zimmer is part of the problem.
Baby Zimmer. Yeah,
I think that
DC,
nepotism is very strong in Minnesota, and I think that's why. I think that is partly why they've said, right, let's have a fresh start, get rid of Spielman, get rid of Zimmer. Let's see what a fresh set of eyes can do in this franchise. Let's see what we can do. I think the worst,
the least attractive job.
Least attractive job, not the worst. Sorry, and I'm not offending you.
I'm going to say because of what happened this season, I think you need a very strong set of hands to take over Las Vegas and an even stronger mind to take over blooming Jacksonville.
I think the least attractive job out there is the Broncos.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes in that offense. There's a lot of holes.
Least attractive is the Jags. Interesting. Why, Muzz?
So
I'd argue that it's quite attractive.
I'll explain my Broncos. I'll explain my Broncos. You don't have a quarterback.
Agreed.
There are many, many holes in the defense in both sides, really.
Yeah, agreed.
And you're in a division where you have to play Mahomes and Herbert for probably the next 10 years, and the Raiders, who are looking very good.
I want to say something, though. NFC North, 50% of the head coach and GMs are gone.
Yeah, I did see that.
It says something, though, because obviously Detroit
the longest tenure coach in the NFC North at the moment is Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, obviously Detroit have only had one season. Green Bay have dominated that over the last 20 odd years, that division. You know, you've had Brett Favre and then you've had to deal with Aaron Rodgers. That is a quite bad, even though Brett Favre went across the border to you guys, that is quite two quarterbacks to go up against. And no one's really had the quarterbacks to go against it. Yeah, I completely expensive expectations on still on Lawrence. Unfortunately, that's what it is. I don't think Khan is a complete moron because look what he did at Fulham. So I don't think he's a complete moron.
I think Muzz might be referring to another sport. Well, if you believe professional wrestling is a sport. He made some idiotic, ill-informed comments. I don't know if that's what he is actually referring to, but you know.
Yeah. If I was a head coach or a GM, if I was a GM, I would go to Chicago because the likelihood of a new stadium coming in and all this, you've bought the race course, you've got that coming in. That would be quite nice. If I was a head coach, I would either go to Miami, but my first choice would be Minnesota, personally. But that's me. That's why I would go. There you go. That's what Muzz said. His comments on Fulham. Jags are just brilliant. Dad needs a reining in.
Well, I mean, his dad with the whole Michael Jackson thing was a bit weird.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That's something totally different, and let's not go into that.
While we've mentioned draft picks, shall we have a look at the draft order that's been confirmed for the first 16 picks as it stands at the moment? So obviously Jags have got 1 after their win, and Lions have also gone to 2, Texans 3, Jets 4, Giants 5, Panthers 6. Giants have got 7 from the Bears, Falcons at 8, Broncos at 9. Jets have got the 10th pick from Seahawks. Then you've got Washington, Vikings, Browns, Ravens, Eagles have got the 15 from Dolphins and 16 from Colts. Chargers and then Saints. And then they obviously got the playoff teams, Eagles, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots. Dolphins have Niners pick. Raiders, Bills, Cards, Titans. Lions have got the Rams pick. Surprise, surprise. Cowboys, Chiefs, Bucks, Packers. There are a few teams without first round pick.
Everyone in the NFC West apart from the Cardinals.
Colts. Bears, Colts, Rams, Niners, and Seahawks do not have a first round pick as of yet. Philadelphia with 3 in what's probably going to be within 4 picks in the back end of the teens. Are they going to give up a couple of picks? Are people going to come in for them?
And both New York teams having 2 picks in the top 10.
If I was New York, I would be holding on to them with dear life.
Yeah.
If I was them, look at the players you can get that could build those 2 franchises up, especially New York Jets.
So, Tom, what do you think of your pick at 12?
I don't know yet. I've not actually had a chance to look at. I mean, I think our needs definitely. It depends on what Hunter does in free agency. If he stays, then we need a pass rusher to go alongside him the other opposite way. We desperately need a cornerback.
There's Florida, talk about cornerbacks. The Florida Gators cornerback has announced himself eligible for the draft today. So he is a hell of a cornerback. He is a very much J.C. Jackson style cornerback.
I'm sure we'll touch on him in the coming weeks.
Oh yes.
I mean, we've decided we're doing on Thursday, right?
Sam Howell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we go on to the playoffs, shall we look at the offensive stat leaders of the season? And there's a comment popped in.
I'd say that we'll be discussing that in the later episode at the moment.
Yeah, we'll probably do that a bit later on. I have the cap space available at the moment. I had that pinged off. So obviously Bruce Arians has gone that it'll be a travesty if Brady doesn't win MVP. Yes, he's got the most yardage, but he's not scored the most touchdowns. He's not thrown the least interceptions this year. Herbert was very unlucky. He had a very good year. Stafford had a good year. Mahomes has had a good year.
Stafford had a good year until the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah. He's still got the job done. Yes, he threw 2 picks against you, but he still gets the job done. And when you got someone like Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Odell Beckham, T. Higbee, you have got some serious weapons in LA. I'd be scared to face them.
And I mean,
some people may argue that OBJ is a weapon.
Just while we're there, just while we're talking about that, it was nice to see Cam Akers back.
Oh yes.
Less
than 6 months after torn Achilles.
Yeah.
And to come back, it's a miracle. He must have gone to Tom Brady's witch doctor.
And I know me and you have said this a couple of times, but Carr looks like 2016 Carr again.
Oh, Carr looks
was it 2016?
Yeah, when he took them to the Super Bowl. Well, so he couldn't play off until he broke his leg in the last playoff game, in the last regular season game.
Yes.
Well, don't forget Super Bowl is announced, or MVPs are announced the week of Super Bowl weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, before the Super Bowl is.
He deserves it. He's played really, really well this year. He's led that team very well.
If the Raiders do get to the Super Bowl, then potentially.
Jonathan Taylor, the Rush King, obviously with Derrick Henry out for the majority of the season.
I'd like to say something about those top 5 rushers.
Go on then, before we go to Moses' comment about Brady Rodgers.
I think Elijah Mitchell would have been there if he'd have played every game this season.
Yep, and how many yards has Debo rushed for this year? Because that would be an interesting stat.
I don't know exactly. But
I bet if you put those two together, it's more than Cooper Kupp's.
If Elijah Mitchell hadn't have missed 6 games, I think Elijah Mitchell's averaging something mad like 6-7 yards per rush.
So Cooper Kupp was less than a dozen yards from the record for the most reception yards in a season. Jefferson almost broke his record. Devontae Adams broke a record. Jamar Chase broke every record under the sun. And then you've got Deebo Samuels. Defensive stat leaders. The Atlanta Olakunu linebacker at 192 tackles leads the way from Bucks, and Bobby Wagner from Seattle. Mosley had a really good season with New York Jets. He was really good against Buffalo again last night. TJ Watt is the undisputed sack king. Nick Bosa's down in 4th with 7 sacks behind him.
Where's Chase Young? Where's Chase Young, Ollie?
Injured for most of the season.
And where's any New England rushers? Where's Matt Judon on that?
Matt Judon had 12 sacks this year.
Oh, well done. Well done, Matt Judon. Bosa got
he didn't play. He hardly played the last 2 games. Just putting it out there. Trayvon Diggs is either pick 6 or gives away 6.
As I said earlier this week, he is the Jameis Winston of cornerbacks.
Yeah, so he leads the way with interceptions, 3 ahead of JC Jackson, and then we've got 3 people on 5 interceptions. Hoyer, Hydes, and I can't remember the other one off the top of my head. Bride from Tennessee. So I'm going to go to Muzz's comment here, what he's just put in about Brady versus Rodgers.
I did see this the other day, actually.
Rodgers isn't anywhere near any of the top 5 in anything.
People still think he's in the running for the MVP.
And he probably will win the MVP because he's Aaron Rodgers, because everyone loves him, apart from Tom.
And Muzz.
Yeah. Rodgers is a good quarterback. He's a very mobile. He's better with his feet than Brady. Well, that's everyone. I've cried aloud. Tom's better with his feet than Brady. How many times have we said this season it should be Jonathan Taylor or Cooper Kupp? And in fact, Muzz has gone Cooper Kupp should win it, especially as he's got the Triple Crown. MVP should be the best player of the league. Otherwise, it should be called Quarterback Player of the Year or Quarterback of the Year, not MVP. Kupp is Triple Crown champion. He has been superb. He's stepped up another level in that offense. Matt Stafford has put him another level. Again, it just shows how better of a quarterback Stafford is over Goff. And you could see why LA Rams went out and got him. Why they got that trade going in. It is superb. I am seriously looking forward to this weekend's football. We go up to the playoff permutations, which are there.
Well, no, I don't think it's permutations anymore.
No, playoff rankings. Titans, KC, Bills, Bengals, Raiders, Patriots, and Steelers in the AFC, NFC, Green Bay, Bucks, Cowboys, Rams, Cards, Niners, and Eagles. Ollie, can you see Vikings in there? Did I miss one?
I can't see it either. Just Muzz has agreed with us, saying that he totally agrees.
Yep, Adams been superb this year for them. Broke the yard records for Jordy Nelson from 2000 and something.
Yeah, and that's Devontae Adams, Ollie, not Jamal Adams.
If I said it again.
No, you didn't. Brilliant. I was just reminding you.
Was it 2014 the record was?
Jordy Nelson was great for the Packers back in his day. But...
Yeah, he was. The games start really well on Saturday. Bengals Raiders, I think it's going to be an absolute brilliant game.
Yeah, I feel like that could be the closest game of the lot.
It could. I think all the games have the potential to be whoever has the ball last.
Yes.
Even the Bucks-Eagles games, because Bucks have struggled at times against lesser teams this year.
I'd like to ask why the Niners-Cowboys game is being shown on CBS and Nickelodeon.
Because it's just a comedy of errors with Cowboys. It's gonna be everyone's gonna laugh at the Cowboys. That's gonna be a great game.
I'm wondering if the winning coach will get slimed or something.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. Then we go to the NFC matchup. No, the AFC East matchup of New England against Buffalo. It's going to be the deciding set of the three out of the three for them too, which is going to be a great game.
I mean, I think we're going to actually deep dive on these games on Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, I can see. Hopefully, Mack will throw the ball more than 3 times in Buffalo. Then we go to Sunday, which is probably the weaker of the 3 games, but it still has the potential to be a very good game. Eagles against Tampa Bay. Then we go on to Ollie's game with Niners against Cowboys.
Here we go. Muzz
Steelers
answered my
against...
question about Nickelodeon.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah,
okay,
actually, I think I remember seeing that last.
Didn't have SpongeBob doing one last year.
They had SpongeBob in between the posts every time there was there was a field goal.
And then we go to Chiefs Steelers, which I think could be an upset game.
And then I think the best game of the week may be the last game. I think the best game of the week will either be the first or the last.
They all have, like I said, they all have potential to be an upsets. All of them. You could see.
I don't think
5, 6, and you could see 5, 6, and 7 all going through, and you could also see 2, 3, and 4 going through.
I don't think you can really call Tuesday game an upset. Whoever wins, I think it's a coin flip game.
It's another divisional matchup as well, isn't it? So it could be. Is that another one that could be 2-1 swing?
No, I think Rams have won both.
No, Cardinals definitely beat Rams first time round.
Did they?
Yes. Because Cardinals went 4-0. Yeah, and Rams, they were both 3-0 going into that, and Rams lost. It's going to be, TJ and Cam Hayward are best to be sitting all week watching the last season Super Bowl and figuring out how to replicate the defense. Have you noticed, though, Muzz, we've said this a few times, ever since Tampa lost in that, or Tampa beat Kansas in the Super Bowl, more teams are replicating what they did to Kansas in that defense. But
however, Kansas' O-line is better now than it was.
Has gotten a lot better. They've gelled. They understand again. Joe Turney, superb, right tackle. He's been playing for most of the season for Kansas.
And they have that rookie that's played well too, whose name I can't remember.
6th round pick.
Yeah,
he was a 6th round pick. He plays left tackle. But yeah,
I mean, let's face it. Steelers don't have anything to lose, do they?
Exactly. Like I said earlier on, they are now playing for Big Ben to extend Big Ben one more game. Another game for Bing. Another game for Ben. And I wouldn't mind if New England, I would hate it, but I would support.
So John just said this.
How many points did they put against you, John? Was it 90 odd points?
Muzz has said this.
Yeah.
Which I agree with.
Mahomes has Brady Rodgers' style of reading the defense so very, very well. And he does the trick plays very, very well. I've enjoyed tonight. I need to go and take another soother because my throat's been killing me. It really does hurt now.
Yes, it's been a bumper episode of Monday Night Review.
It's been a long episode too.
It's been a good one. It's been fantastic.
Thank you for putting up with us for that long.
Oh yes,
Don't forget. Follow us.
Really good.
Yeah, follow us on all social media links. Ollie, do you want to put a banner? Or do you want me to?
Go on, I'm somewhere else.
There we go. Yeah. So follow us on all of our socials are down here. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It does help us. It makes us look good. Feel free to get everyone involved with us. Tell everyone who you know about who knows about football to watch us. And we will be back on Thursday reviewing. Reviewing the previewing
especially on Thanksgiving, yeah, John.
Muzz, yes, I'd say yes to Muzz. Yes for that.
Yes, definitely you can, Muzz. Most definitely. We will have you and Freddie on the Super Bowl pre-show because we'll be doing a Super Bowl pre-show.
Yes,
we would decide the time at some point.
But yeah, thank you for it all. We are well and truly on the road to the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what next week brings in terms of more action. We will be back on Thursday. OBH, Ollie Hope. I've been Tom Shaw. There's one last thing to say.
Stay safe, all.